So today, we're going to talk about OpenAI. It's this wild story of a company that started out with this incredibly noble mission, but has now become one of the most valuable and honestly one of the most controversial companies on the entire planet. And it all started right here, with this promise. And you gotta understand, this wasn't just some corporate slogan on a poster. This was their founding mission. The goal was super clear and, really idealistic. Let's build this powerful AI for the good of everybody, not to make a few people rich. But well, here's where things get complicated. You fast forward to what they're projecting for late 2025, and that little nonprofit mission is now attached to a company with a mind-blowing $500 billion valuation. I mean, that number doesn't just suggest a different story, it's screaming it from the rooftops. So how in the world did that happen, right? How does a nonprofit research lab morph into this global corporate giant? Let's trace that journey and ask the really tough question, what is OpenAI really all about now? To really get this, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, back to that mission to save humanity and the incredibly idealistic vision that started this whole thing. Back in December 2015, OpenAI wasn't even a company. It was a nonprofit research lab, and the motivation was serious stuff. The founders were genuinely worried that a future super intelligent AI could be a real threat to humanity. So their solution? Create a safety-first organization that would work openly, sharing all its research so that no single company or government could control this crazy powerful technology. And I mean, look at this founding team. It was a literal who's who of Silicon Valley. You had Sam Altman, Elon Musk, brilliant researchers like Ilya Sutskever, and they were backed by heavy hitters like Peter Thiel and Reid Hoffman. And it wasn't just about the names. They put their money where their mouth was, pledging a massive $1 billion to get this mission off the ground. So $1 billion, a team of geniuses, sounds like the perfect start, right? Well, that promise was about to run headfirst into the brutal economic reality of what it actually costs to build the most advanced AI in the world. And this, right here, this shows you the first big crack in the plan. Of that $1 billion pledge, it turns out only about $130 million had actually been collected by 2019. That is a huge shortfall, especially because training these giant AI models costs an astronomical amount of money. The mission was hitting a financial wall, and hitting it hard. So this forced them into a major pivot in 2019. To solve the money problem and to, actually compete for the best engineers against giants like Google, OpenAI created a for-profit arm. They called it a capped profit company, a kind of clever hybrid model that let them take venture capital money and give employees stock, all while promising that the original nonprofit would still be in charge and that profits would be limited. And this timeline, wow, it just lays out the slippery slope perfectly. What started as a pure nonprofit in 2015 becomes this capped profit thing in 2019, which immediately lands $1 billion from Microsoft. Then by 2025, the transformation is complete. It's a full-on for-profit corporation. The original mission was now tangled up with the need to make money. So now they had the cash, and that new structure didn't just keep the lights on. Oh no, it fueled a technological explosion that would end up unleashing a product that changed literally everything. The pace of progress was just insane. First, you get GPT-2, a text generator so good they were actually afraid to release it to the public at first. Then comes the even better GPT-3, followed by the mind-bending image generator DALL-E. And then, in November of 2022, they dropped the bomb that started the global AI boom, chatgpt. And the success was like nothing the tech world had ever seen. I mean, you remember this, right? It was everywhere. ChatGPT became the fastest growing app in history, hitting over 100 million users in just 2 months. The AI boom was officially on. And all those users, well, they turned into dollars, a lot of dollars. The for-profit engine was firing on all cylinders, going from basically zero revenue to a projected $12 billion annual run rate by mid-2025. The rocket ship hadn't just launched. It was screaming through the stratosphere. But while that rocket ship was soaring, that fundamental tension, between the original mission and its new corporate reality, it was starting to tear the company apart from the inside. And that tension finally just exploded in November 2023. In a move that shocked everyone, the board, the very people meant to protect the mission, fired the CEO, Sam Altman. What happened next was 5 days of pure, absolute chaos. Investors freaked out, almost all the employees threatened to quit and go to Microsoft, and in the end, well, money and power won. Altman came back, and the board that fired him was basically dismantled. So while all that internal drama was going on, the outside world started coming for them. Suddenly, OpenAI was drowning in lawsuits. You had the New York Times and major authors suing over copyright. You had regulators investigating them for data privacy, and in the most tragic cases, the company was facing lawsuits alleging its technology had played a role in user suicides. But honestly, this might be the most damning sign of all: the collapse of their own safety team. The Super Alignment Group, the one created to handle the exact doomsday risks OpenAI was founded to prevent, was dissolved. Its leaders, including co-founder Ilya Sutskever, resigned, saying publicly that safety was now taking a backseat to shipping shiny products. By the end of 2024, nearly half of the company's AI safety researchers were gone. So after all that, the pivots, the power struggles, the profits, it brings us to today, and the biggest question of all: what exactly is OpenAI now? Well, this ownership chart pretty much says it all. The original nonprofit, the group that was supposed to be the guardian of the mission, now holds just a 26% minority stake. The vast majority of the company is controlled by employees, investors, and their giant partner, Microsoft. The watchdog has become a junior partner. And the scale of this whole thing is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around. They're projected to make $12 billion in revenue, but they're going to burn through $8 billion of that in just 1 year. This isn't just a business anymore. It's an all-in, high-stakes gamble to win the AI race no matter the cost. And there you have it. That's the journey. A 10-year transformation from an idealistic lab trying to save humanity into a $500 billion corporation fighting for market dominance. Which leaves us with the ultimate question. And it's not just for OpenAI, it's for this whole new era of AI. When a technology is powerful enough to reshape our entire world, who should be in control? The mission to benefit all of humanity, or the mandate to make a profit for shareholders? That's the question, and the answer is still being written.